So you're going to be doing your own metal building. Well, let me give you 3 tips on what will save you a lot of heartache in the beginning that makes your project go much smoother. Check it out. So one of the most important things in the beginning is your concrete slab. So whether you're doing the concrete slab or you're having a contractor do it, one of the things to make sure of, especially if you're putting the metal building up yourself, is number 1, make sure the slab is absolutely square. The way you do that is to measure from opposite corner to opposite corner diagonally, and those 2 measurements should be equal. But before you do that, you need to measure the length on both sides of the building and the width on both ends of the building to make sure they're proper too. Any one of those numbers off won't give you a true square when you go to measure your diagonal. Once you have all walls the same length and same distance, then do your diagonal and you should come up with the same number. If it's 143 inches on one corner, it should be 143 the other corner. If it ends up being 143 on one side and 145 on the other, well then that means you're 2 inches out of square, which would put a 1-inch skew on the building. You might think, well, that doesn't affect my columns and it doesn't affect my spacing. That's true. But when you go to put the roof on, the roof will not go on straight. You will have to match the end walls at the diagonal and keep stair-stepping your panels just to keep the right amount of overhang on your eave. So that's something to keep in mind. Step number 2 is make sure that the slab is level. If the slab is not level, or it's slightly like 2 corners are lower than the opposite 2 corners or something, and it gives it a little bit of skew, it's going to be hard to get your sidewall panels to do the same thing. They will stair step on the way down or they'll stair step on the way up, depending on which direction you're sheeting and which way the building is out of level. And last but not least, but probably one of the most important, when most contractors are going to get the slab nice and level anyway, but sometimes they have a little bit of trouble getting the anchor bolts correct. So this is where you go to your drawings that your building supplier supplied you and look at those templates and go along and maybe double check with your contractor to make sure that they're the right distance from the edge of the slab, where the center of the columns are center, and also really important is they give you a dimension from inside to inside bolt that's critical so that your rafters don't bow when you're putting your columns up. Because if the building bulges out or bulges in, it's going to affect how that rafter sits, and it'll be a struggle all the way. So those are just the 3 things that'll help your life go much smoother if you're doing your metal building yourself. Now I would like to remind you to like, share, and subscribe, and later on I'll be adding links to this very video to my little tutorials on more detailed subjects, where you can go and find out a little bit more about certain tips and tricks that the different manufacturers put out there that most people don't know. Okay guys, we'll see you on the next one. Thank you for watching.